How many hearts have you broken with those great big beautiful eyes? Those great big beautiful eyes that tell such beautiful lies.
How many times have you kissed somebody like you kissed me then? I don't.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and all ships at sea. We interrupt this broadcast to bring you an important message from the Prepared Mind Network.
All right, everyone, welcome back to the Prepared Mind channel. It is Super Tuesday. Why is it super? Because RFK Jr. has been approved by the Senate. He is now going to be the acting head of the Health and Human Services, right? Formerly held by a transgender obese man. And obviously, when you claim to be that and a man dressing as a woman, then you are exhibiting 100% of your mental illness. So how can someone with a easily diagnosable mental illness be approved? Just the strangest, most bizarre stuff. One of the cool reactions, though, was, well, Pfizer and other pharmaceuticals took a dive in value on the market. Why do you think that is, folks? Could it be that certain Dr. Fauci is in trouble? Could it be that Rand Paul, Senator Paul, is going to go after him? Right, Health and Human Services. And then we've got Pam Bondi, Attorney General, up on deck, I believe, for a vote tomorrow in the Senate. And this is what I have to say and think about what's going on.
With COVID, I mean, the things that we thought we knew in the beginning turned out as the months went by to not be the case, which really forced us to adapt and to change some of our policies and recommendations. That was interpreted by many as flip-flopping or not really knowing what's going on, when it really was the evolution of the science.
Fuck you, Dr. Fauci.
The best.
And not just to think about, well, my freedom is being kind of disturbed here. No, screw your freedom.
There comes a time when you do have to give up what you consider your individual right of making your own decision.
Oh, really? I need to give up my own rights? I need to choose to give up my rights to my individual decisions to choose for myself what's best for me? Screw your freedom, says Schwarzenegger. I'm with Megyn Kelly. Fuck you, Dr. Fauci, and everyone else in the pharmaceutical industry, the Health and Human Services, the National Institutes of Health, the Centers for Disease Control, the World Health Organization. They can all fuck off. Folks, we are in an incredible time in history, not only for the United States of America, but for the world. And I've said before, this is like a disease, not in our bodies, but in the body politic. Government. Government is sick, is it not? Government is ill. Is that not demonstrated by Pride Month? Pride Month and all things rainbow fruitcake, unicorn fart dust, ridiculous, perverted, sexualized, grooming crap. Plus what they did to the military, the education system, our banking system, monetary system, our everything. It is sick. And when you are that diseased, the road to recovery is not easy. I've been spending actually a lot of time lately listening to economic wizards. I call them wizards because they profess that they can wave their magic wand and fix it. There is no easy fix. They keep saying, we're going to have a loss in standard of living. Well, help me out, Mr. fucking billionaire. Have we or have we not? Us little people down here, have we or have we not had a harder time making ends meet? I mean, it doesn't matter whether you're poor, middle class, wealthy, or super rich. You're going to get 3 meals a day in America. It's just some of us are eating oatmeal and porridge, while others are eating filet mignon and lobster biscuit every single meal. But for me, oatmeal is this big of my budget. For the wealthy and super rich, filet mignon is no part of their budget. It doesn't affect them. Their standard of living, they may make less money, but their standard of living doesn't change a bit. Whereas us, our standard of living is already here, and then the inflation really takes it down. So I'm already hurt. A lot of you I know are already hurt. And the hurt is going to continue because now we need to amputate, remove, treat all of the illness in the body politic. And that is exactly what Trump is trying to do. I don't like tariffs. I don't like taxes. I don't like anything costing a lot. I don't like it. But we're already being fucked over, all of us. And we just found out that $1 trillion a year is given away to other countries and organizations. Just pissed away. That's not counting all the money that's pissed away in the country as giveaways, studies to see how fast a shrimp can run on a hamster wheel while on cocaine. I think that study was $3 million. We want to send $50 million in condoms to Gaza. We want to spend, $50 million to Nepal to help them become more atheistic, meaning leave your faith, belief, morals, and God behind. Come join the atheistic, or rather secretly satanic governments of the West and ruin yourselves. It's unfucking believable. But I think government is actually so stupid it believes its own lies. And as usual on the Prepared Mind channel, not only do I say, have food, water, shelter, clothing, medicine, means of self-defense. Go to the thepreparedmind.club and get what you need to be prepared for any emergency. But when I make a statement about government being stupid, I'll bring you evidence. And here it is. Congresswoman extraordinaire, retarded, one of the most retard amongst retards, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. She thinks she is smarter than Elon Musk, folks. She has complained that he has a, quote, lack of experience in government systems. Right, because he is heading up the Department of Government Efficiency, DOGE. Department of Government Efficiency. It was revealed today that he has a bunch of college brainiac nerds, computer brainiac nerds, getting into government computers and auditing them to see where they're sending money, where they're spending money, where they're wasting money. And government people don't like that. The same way you and I would not like the police just coming in your house and rifling through everything. Even though you've committed no crime and you're not a criminal, we wouldn't like that if they came in and rifled through everything. Our sock drawer, our underwear drawer, our closets. We wouldn't want them going through our bank accounts and going, where'd you make this dollar? Where'd you make that dollar? The only difference is you and I are private, free Americans. Government is a public organization that has been granted the trust of the American people that they would wisely and intelligently spend the money they steal from us in taxes. They have no right to privacy, period. We have a right to know what they're doing. So AOC says Musk has a lack of experience in government systems. Says a retarded bartender, folks, who thinks that NASA can land a rover on the sun when it's nighttime because it'll be cool enough. You can't land one on the sun during the day. It's too hot. What a fucking retard, folks. Literally, you can't make this shit up. AOC thinks she's smarter than the rest of us. Get your questions down below. Welcome everyone on X, thepreparedmind.club. subscribestar.com, and anywhere else you may find me, whatever social media site you found this video on. Be sure and be a follower, subscriber, like, heart, thumbs up, and share in any way possible with everyone so they can wake the hell up. There's a fight in Washington, D.C., folks. Fight to cure the cancer, to cut out the disease, to amputate the sickness, and restore health to our country. And it will not be easy. But like any disease, the doctor says, well, either we solve the problem or you die from the problem. Well, if you cut off my leg, I won't be able to run as fast. No, if we don't cut it off, you're not going to run at all. You're going to die. Well, I guess we'll go with the amputation and the following pain, suffering, and recovery. That is where we're at. In 1971, after all the shenanigans and games of the last 30 years, Richard Nixon had to pull the United States of America's gold standard temporarily down. Close the gold window temporarily. And we've had 50 odd years since then of complete fiat currency fuckery. And now it is coming to an end. And we had the 1970s worth of pain after that. And we're going to have a decade of pain. But the problems have to be cured. Folks, nobody likes it. I don't want it. I hate tariffs. I hate taxes. I hate my standard of living going down even further. But I lived through the 70s as a kid. I guess I'm going to have to live through the 2020s as an adult. We've already had 4 years of SHTF, folks, and there's a lot more coming. But Trump is doing it. He's doing exactly what he said he would do. He's cutting off government spending. He's draining the bureaucratic swamp. We've heard about USAID, USAID, USAID. In other words, dollar giveaway. Nearly every single USAID staff member is going to be put on leave, if not outright laid off. And we need massive firings, folks, and massive layoffs at all bureaucracies. And Argentina did it, folks. Argentina did it. They cut down all of their government bullshit that they could. Javier Milei led the way. He was elected. The chainsaw was his nickname. Elected, and he cut the bureaucracy. And the only people who complained were people who were bureaucrats. That's it. Bureaucrats. And a year later, guess what? Their inflation sank. Government coffers grew, and they're paying off their debt. I believe, if I'm wrong, please correct me, Uman and others. I believe Argentina has a balanced budget now because they're not spending government money and interfering in everyone's ability to do business. And we need in this country massive firings, massive layoffs in the government, like the IRS. I know we can get rid of at least 87,000 of them and probably a whole lot more. Don't we have computers now? Everything is computer generated. Why do we need people at the IRS? How about all the U.S. government people at the United Nations? How about all of the worthless people at the CIA, the EPA, the NSA, the ATF, the DHS, etc., etc., etc.? We need to drain all of them, folks. But this is an incredible story here, right here, folks. The FBI, one of the most disgusting, filthy, horrifying, toxic institutions on the planet. And I don't say that with a light heart or a glib attitude. The FBI should be the premier federal law enforcement agency, but instead it has become a political weapon, a destructive element within our government that controls and manipulates and grinds people into powder. So, officials have sued the FBI. The Department of Justice, which was under Merrick Garland, It's now being freed. It's loose. We don't have Pam Bondi in place yet. We don't have Kash Patel in place yet. But the FBI has now turned over the names of employees who worked on January 6 cases, which were also tied to, that's right, President Trump, when they tried destroying everybody after the 2020 election. They tried destroying Trump, the January 6 protesters. They went after parents and said parents are domestic terrorists. They designated and classified veterans and even active duty military as potential threats. Folks, the FBI turned over 5,000 Federal Bureau of Investigation employees. 5,000 employees in the FBI worked on the January 6th and other cases. Not 5 employees, not 50 or even 500. It's 5,000 agents and subcontractors. And I'm sure, let's just come up with a nice round number. How about $150,000 to $250,000 a year in cost because of, well, wages, benefits, the taxes they pay. Government people don't pay taxes. Their money comes from taxes, so how can they pay taxes? What, the government collects taxes, pays its own employees who pay taxes? Right? They're collecting tax. It's taxing is stupid. Right? So let's just say the average was 5,000 employees at $200,000 a piece. That covers all of their health benefits, Social Security, yada, yada, yada. I'm going to do a little math here. 200,000 times 5,000. Exactly $1 billion. I feel like Dr. Evil. $1 billion. They spent $1 billion to do what? To try and arrest and frame Donald Trump and to keep Americans in a gulag and to terrify the rest of the country. Do we need any agency in the DC, District of Criminals? Do we need any agency in the District of Criminals for this type of travesty and abuse and corruption and lawlessness? In my opinion, folks, it's a galactically sized abuse of power. And they just turned over 5,000 names of FBI agents who have been looking into all of us. Unfucking believable. Folks, this is draining the swamp. Identifying the snakes and cutting their heads off. Any of these motherfucking people who dared investigate anybody for exercising a right, they need to be fired and fined. While other people like BLM, Antifa, and their sponsors like George Soros and their enablers like Joe Biden and Kamala Harris, who went out and lobbied for people to send money and encouraged people to continue burning, looting, and murdering this country. When I said this country has cancer and it needs to be amputated, I wasn't making a glib fucking joke. No, I wasn't, folks. This is serious fucking business. This is shit hitting the fan. Are you prepared for what happens next? This is going to get fucking nasty. And they don't even have Pam Bondi approved yet, but they're gonna. They have to. They have no justification for not. Except this is the criminals guarding the bank vault. Except all of us are watching the criminals who guard the bank vault tell us that the top law enforcement officers and prosecutor, the attorney general, and the director of the FBI aren't allowed to be in the vault with the guards, the government guards. And the government guards are in there actually spending all of our money. And now Trump is trying to put Kash Patel and Pam Bondi in charge of watching the vault. And anyone, folks, anyone who sticks their hand in there becomes responsible and accountable. This is unfucking believable. I'm loving every minute of it. And I know we all risk huge problems because of it. And I'd rather fix the problem now, folks, so that my son and my grandson and his future sons and daughters can live in a free country that is not run by an incredible amount of absolutely filthy, wretched thieves. Oh, did I tell you about the EPA? The Environmental Protection Agency. Not only is Trump getting rid of Joe Biden's executive orders shutting down Alaska energy exploration, development, production, and shipping, he's cutting that. Offshore drilling, exploration, development, pumping, and shipping. Trump's house cleaning in Washington, D.C. That's a nice word, isn't it? Housekeeping. How about cutting more fat and bureaucracy? Remember, he said, if you want to have one new regulation in any government operation, any government bureaucracy, if you want one new regulation, you've got to eliminate 10 old ones. 1,000 bureaucrats have now been notified by email that they are terminated in the EPA. Once again, isn't everything run by computers these days? Isn't everything tracked by computers these days? Isn't information, data, statistics, everything is tracked? Why is it still takes just as many, no, more people than ever? Because it's a fucking sham. The winning continues, folks. The winning continues. Get your questions down below. We've got more coming, folks. It is hitting the fan. Did you know that all of the criminals from the United States of America that are being rounded up, they're going to have to go to, they're going to go to a vacation hotspot. That's right. MS-13 and other drug gang members are being sent on vacation to the tropics, a vacation hotspot. Let me tell you more. It's not as good as it might sound at first. Kind of like when I was in Marine Corps boot camp, the first time I heard this phrase, do you guys want to go to the beach? Sir, yes, sir. Well, the beach was a big, hot, sweaty sandbox that we bent and thrust in. Oh, man. Secretary of State Marco Rubio, former Republican senator, now Secretary of State, he struck a deal with the Prime Minister or President of El Salvador. And this is being labeled as the most extraordinary migrant agreement anywhere in the world. But it's not vacation, folks. No, no, no. MS-13 and other gangs and illegal criminals are going to be sent to El Salvador, and it will be hot. They'll be in a huge cage, not an air-conditioned cell, but a huge cage with bunks only, according to a family relative who's familiar with federal prison systems and what deal has been struck. That's my insider for you guys. I got an insider within the law enforcement and Bureau of Prisons. One insider, not bad, huh? It'll be a hot cage with bunks only, no AC, no privileges, no fun. Criminals in the United States of America that are not Americans will be deported down there to El Salvador. And they won't be coddled, but it will be cheap because it's a big cage, not full of guards that they can assault, no visitors that can smuggle drugs and contraband in, no delicious meals 3 times a day. This is going to make, well, Make them feel safe in their prisons, and it'll make America feel safe, right? You want to make America great again? Get the fucking criminals out of the country. I passed an SUV today on my way back to the bunker. On the back of the window in, I guess, soap, a big white bunch of letters that said, it said dismantle ICE, ICE, dismantle ICE. I'm surprised this idiot could spell dismantle. I drove up next to the woman driving it, and I had my Trump hat. I pulled it off the dash and put it on my head and looked over at her. But she was busy at a stop sign, turning around in her vehicle, yelling at her kids in the back seat. Unfortunately, the light turned green and I could not harass her. But dismantle ICE means take apart Immigration and Customs Enforcement. I have a funny feeling this lady's boy toy, sperm donating baby daddy, is no longer walking around free. He's probably hiding under a rock or a bridge or inside of an alligator's stomach if he tried hiding in the swamp. Oh, yeah, folks, it's getting nasty and funny and fucked up. Fucked up. Now, this morning I mentioned in the Zero Dark 30 broadcast that the communist piece of shit who led the color revolution against America, who filed 180 lawsuits against Trump, the guy's name is Norm Eisen, and he looks just like a smelly, stinking communist. He has now threatened Trump's deputy attorney general, Emil Bove. He's threatened him with, quote, severe consequences for firing all of the anti-American, anti-freedom, anti-constitution, scumbag District of Columbia employees. Who does this piece of shit think he is? Well, I'm going to tell you this. I would not make a good president. I don't believe in being nice to bad people. The Constitution is the Constitution, and when you take an oath to obey the law as a government employee, you can't just arrest people and put a bullet in the back of their head for being communists. I do think that communism, which is illegal, by the way, it should be enforced, and they should be either thrown in jail or deported. But a lot of people say the only good communist is a dead communist. I don't even give dead communists that much credit. I don't. Try me if there's any communists. Fucking try me. Don't hide behind a computer. Come and get me. I'm in Florida, not in Miami, not in Jacksonville, not in Tallahassee, not in Orlando. I'm probably closest to a city called Tampa. I'm not in Tampa, but I'm closer to Tampa than anything else. That's probably the most specific geographic note I have made about where I'm at. Not in Orlando, not in Cocoa Beach, not over by Elon Musk's rockets. I'm sick and tired of these fucking commies, folks. They're being found. They're being captured. They're being exposed. They're being fired. Just like this giant fucking sleazeball, Andrew McCabe, who's an ex-FBI big shot. He says the FBI is in complete and total. Actually, his phrase was utter disarray. And agents, FBI agents, are living in fear. Do you think the Trump family lived in fear when FBI showed up with fully automatic guns and orders to shoot anybody who tried to interfere or resist? American parents who want to go to a school board meeting to address the absolute disgusting, filthy, homosexual perversions being shoved down the throats of children only to have the FBI land helicopters and intimidate parents and then designate them as domestic terrorists. And this fucking sissy, Andrew McCabe, who I challenged to a boxing match, an arm wrestling match, a cage match, a chess match, fucking checkers, Connect Four. How much simpler can it get? I'll take this guy on. We're both old. Oh, I fucking tell you. Unbelievable stuff is going on, folks. I hope you're prepared, though, because these slimy worms are not going to give up. They're not going to go away. All of the scumbag people in the highways waving their Mexican fucking flags as they're being deported. They're trying to make it now. They're going to pass a law to make it a federal offense to block a highway. Good. You know, I'm sure the spirit of the law and the letter of the law will be two different things. If you crash your car, you won't be accused of blocking a highway and getting a federal felony. But if you run around in a fucking freeway with a flag waving it in people's face and stopping traffic, that's the letter of the law. These people need to be arrested and pulled out of the street right away. And by the way, the governor of New Jersey, Murphy, who says, I'm harboring an illegal in my house right now. I dare you to do something about it. Guess what? The investigation is open and they're going to come after that dumb fuck. Literally going to go after that dumb fuck. It is now your turn. Questions down below. Mr. Uman is in the house. The creator of the rsyndicate.com. The rsyndicate.com, your everything for patriotism, prepping, woodscrafts, you name it. It's right there. And now it is your turn. It's not even Wednesday. It's Tuesday. I feel like it's Wednesday. So much shit has happened. Unbelievable. Mr. Uman, what do you think we ought to talk about? What do you think? It's Mr. Diving Frog. Oh. He says, I see so... Badass Diving Frog says, I see Trump sent a plane load of illegals to Gitmo. I believe they sent 1,000 jarheads, or is it 3,000 more United States Marines to Gitmo to handle the incoming illegal criminal element. And now plane loads are showing up. They're going to sort them out there, folks. They're going to find out El Countryo you came from. Oh, you know what a cue ball on a billiards table and illegal aliens have in common? The harder you hit them, the more English you get out of them. I'm sure they're going to find out what country these people come from. And the more they get smacked around, the more their English is going to straighten right the fuck up. And their Spanish and whatever other language they pretend to speak. And then they will send them home. But they're going to get them out of our country, make America safe, and send them to Gitmo, which is Guantanamo Bay, Cuba. They won't be having fine Cuban rum, nor fine Cuban cigars, nor fine Cuban femme fatales on a beach. Once again, another tropical retreat that nobody wants to go to. And folks, hats off to all active duty and veterans of all branches of service who do this type of work, have done it, are doing it, and will do it in the future. Because now, with Pete Hegseth and the Secretary of Defense in the Pentagon, in charge of the military and the Department of Defense, American men will once again be proud to join the United States Armed Services. Not everyone is going to be a devil dog. Not everyone is going to be 101st Airborne. I ran into one of those guys in Home Depot today. Not everyone can be that, right? But everyone that has and can and will join can do so with honor, no matter where they serve. That's right. Thank you, Mr. Diving Frog. Ooh-man. Woo! What a start. What a start to the show. And it's only fucking Tuesday. Redneck Roughneck said them Democrats want to get into that you said building to destroy evidence. They want to stop them first from digging into these files and finding out where they're sending money, where they're laundering money. Even one of the biggest money laundering fucking schemes of all time, the Ukraine war. Not only did America send over $200 billion, that piece of shit crypto fascist, crypto scam artist, Sam Bankman-Fried. Right? You can guess his ethnicity. Sam Bankman-Fried took billions and billions and billions of your investment dollars through his, what was it, FTX, and laundered it through Ukraine. Right? Even the leader of Ukraine, Zelensky, goes, half the money? I have no idea where it went. I bet the little fucker put a lot of it in his own pocket. But they are not going to allow anyone to be accountable, including themselves. I don't know where the money went. It'd be great if the government gave me $1 million and I was like, shit, dude, I don't know. You can come search my house. It's not there. I don't know where it is. What a total shame. Gee whiz. Golly gee willikers. Yeah, these Democrats and people on the street are joining them too because they hate Trump and they hate you. They hate me. They hate us. I mean, the ass attorney out of Washington, D.C., his name is Ed Martin. He is having to charge these idiot individuals who are threatening Elon Musk and his Doge workers because they don't want them finding what's going on, where the money's going. They don't want the money stopped. Oh, you got nothing to hide. Let them go through. It goes to show you they have everything to hide and everything to lose. Ooman, Kaz, Vaughn, Jolene, me, the original founding members of the R Syndicate. We wanted this to happen in Trump 1.0. It didn't. We wanted him to drain the swamp. He didn't. We wanted him to fix things. He didn't. What's the fucking difference between then and Trump 2.0? The difference is Trump doesn't think that you can ask permission. You don't need to ask permission. Just do it. Everything within his power he's doing. He's not asking permission. He doesn't need permission. The Democrats are now running scared. He should have done this the first time. Instead, he spent more time pandering to the fucking media and playing games until he realized they were fuckheads, trying to work with Democrats. There is no such thing as bipartisanship. There is nothing in government but raw power and exercising that power. That's it. Government is force. And like fire, it is a fearful servant and a terrible master. That is a George Washington quote, and it just flew out of my mouth. Government is a dangerous weapon, and it is now being used to take itself down. And I am applauding every fucking moment of this. I want the amputations. I want the cancer gone. I want the snake's head cut off. I want the swamp drained. And I want all the evil incinerated on spot. Folks, that's how you win a fucking war. You don't win by winning over the hearts and minds of the enemy. The hearts and minds of our enemies are black, cold, and evil. Get prepared. Food, water, shelter, clothing, medicine, means of self-defense, because their hearts are black, cold, and evil, and they're going to do more evil. A very close friend of mine today said that they had fog, where fog usually isn't, and that it stank like a chemical. I don't know what the fuck they're doing around the country, but I don't trust any of it. They've discovered that I don't know how many millions of dollars were sent by USAID over to Wuhan, China. Why was the American government then and now continuing to send cash into China to fund cerveza bug, bat soup disease? Why the fuck is that happening, folks? Inquiring minds want to know. I hope you're enjoying this, folks. This is a shit show. The last 2 weeks now and 2 days, 2 weeks and 2 days since Trump has taken office after inauguration, we have had more government reform, removal, destruction in a good way than we've had my entire fucking lifetime. And you and I are keeping up. This is why I said you've got to pay attention. You need to pay attention. You don't have to do what I do, but you just need to pay attention and go, oh yeah, that, and that. Okay, that. You don't need to know all the minutia, all the names of the players. You just need to know that these things are fucking happening. So when something big happens, folks, the lights go out. You can't get any more eggs. Could that be because Biden killed hundreds of millions of chickens over the last 4 years? How many chickens died just in the last couple of months of the Biden regime? Trump gets egg inflation and everyone's like, it's Trump's fault. But you paid attention over the last few years and noted. So you're prepared. You're prepared, hopefully, with powdered eggs in cans. I have many cans of powdered eggs in the Prepared Mind bunker, along with my tuna and Spam and some scotch. But powdered eggs, they taste like shit, but you can live on it. Oh, man, when I was in the RMZ, I ate some of them back then. Powdered eggs with bacon bits. That was my eggs and bacon with dehydrated cheese in the RMZ. It was wonderful. Absolutely. What a time of my life. I highly recommend it. Ooh, man, who's next? And it's Roy the Crypto Boy. And he says the Waffle House. Waffle House has just announced a 50-cent surcharge per egg. Other businesses likely will use a surcharge instead of increasing prices. What is your suggestion for businesses using surcharges? I can tell you exactly why they're doing this, folks. Well, there's two reasons. Number one, the price per egg has gone up tremendously. Number two, the cost of printing fucking menus is incredibly high. So in an inflationary environment, they'll just tell you, surcharge. All that means is we can't afford to print new fucking menus. Literally, folks, a menu that goes into one of those menu binders where you slip the pages in and out, 20 cents a sheet of paper, and $1 in labor. Right? To print them off, to slip the old ones out and put the new ones in. But if you got those menus that are laminated like a beautiful Denny's menu, those plastic coated menu that when you get them, they're kind of stuck together sometimes and you don't know if the last person sneezed in it. It's kind of gross. I know. Ooman just about puked. I just watched Ooman about puke. He went, boof. Because he knows what the fuck I'm talking about. And I know you all do. So that's exactly what's going on there, Roy, is it's just easier and faster to go 50-cent surcharge. And they'll do the same for anything like hamburgers, any premium item. You want avocado? It'll be $2, $3 on top of everything else. Kind of like when I was a kid, it was, you want a hamburger? I'll take a hamburger. You want some cheese on that? Yeah, I'll take some cheese. That'll be another 10 cents. It's like, ooh, 10 cents on an 80-cent cheeseburger? Okay, man. It's the charge you pay. Not a huge deal, but just understand in principle why. It's easier for them to just say, look, $1 surcharge. It's not because they're fucking us. It's because we're all getting fucked on the cost of eggs. I saw a chicken the other day. I was making chicken jokes with Lad today, a friend of mine. And he goes, you need to get help, man. You've got a chicken problem. I was like, no, I just ever since that fucking rooster in the RMZ, some funny shit. Anyways, he always sends me jokes and makes me laugh. A lot of you guys do, and you're good people out there. All right, Mr. Uman, where do we roll next? And we got Christopher Hole. Hey, this dude's looks like one hell of a redneck. Awesome. I love fucking rednecks and fucking hillbillies and fucking swamp billies, fucking country boys. Anyways, Christopher says, hey, Uman, I'm thinking the velocity of our money is slowing way down. Well, currency velocity. A lot of that has to do with, well, it's a very complex concept. I'm glad Christopher's aware of it. Has to do with economic action. If you've got a pocket full of cash and you're a drunk sailor on a weekend liberty, that cash is going to disappear. With velocity, it's going to leave your pocket because you've got a lot of cash. There's a lot of cash in circulation. So velocity is it going and trading from hand to hand to hand to hand to hand. But when there's not much cash out there in the hands of regular people, the velocity slows down, which means there's less economic activity, less retail sales, less services, and less taxes. So how does the government solve this problem? Well, it does it by, well, it can do it a number of different ways. One of the ways it does it is to reduce taxes. That leaves more money in your pocket so you can go out and spend it like a drunk sailor into the system and increase money velocity, increase economic activity, increase taxes. Another way they do it is by lowering interest rates. When interest rates are lower, people tend to borrow more for buying things like houses, cars, and credit card debt. Lower interest rates, people tend to spend more. It increases money velocity, retail activity, services activity, and government taxes. Another way the government does it is by sending us checks. Helicopter money, dumping money on top of us so we go out and spend it. All of those things have an inflationary tendency when there's a lot more cash out there. But get this, Christopher. And folks, I am not a master's degree economist. I just had to say that. When there is less money in circulation, velocity is lower, and people tend to hold on to their cash because they don't got much left. They don't want it to go away. And so you get money velocity slow down, less economic activity. The number of goods left on the shelf is higher because they're not leaving the shelf as fast. So you've got more goods, less money, and it's a deflationary, not inflationary, deflationary concern. Because now businesses, to get any activity, will lower their prices, reduce their profit margin. At the same time, people in those companies won't be getting raises, and there's more likely to be layoffs. So you either go down that road, which is negative, or you go down the road of inflation. The problem cannot be solved simply and easily. The idea of just pumping more money out there, creating all the velocity that all of the rich people and banks want, because they typically suck up all the wealth, same with government through taxation, and they leave the system high and dry again. Always the little man, the middle class, gets fucked over the most. It's the middle class that suffers the most. The poor will always be poor, and they'll always get all the government help they can do. Even if you give them money, they blow it. The poor will always be poor. You'll always have the poor amongst you. But those trying to leave poverty and enter middle class, those in the middle class who wish to be wealthy or comfortable, if you will. It's possible, except when government and corporations and banks are in charge, in collusion with one another, in a, let's call it crony capitalistic fashion, fucking everyone over. Meanwhile, Antifa sees that and they go out and they attack us on the streets because that's the most smart thing to fucking do. All right, man, let's have some more fun. It's hit the fan, folks. It's getting exciting. I'm energized because I want this to all be fixed. Redneck Roughneck says, one thing about the government getting their money from tariffs is it gives us the choice of how much taxes we pay. Now, I'll tell you what, Redneck Roughneck, fuck. I agree with you in principle on an aspect of this, is when it comes to tariffs, you and I can say we choose not to participate in the tax system because I am not going to go buy goods and services from China and pay a tariff, or goods from Mexico or goods from Canada, because there's an additional tariff, and that tariff money goes into government. The trick here is, Mr. Roughneck, is they haven't reduced or eliminated the income tax, or rather the unconstitutional tax on the wages we earn with our labor. So as this starts, we're going to have both income tax and a tariff tax. You and I are going to be getting double fucked. Now, Canada and Mexico have decided they're going to do their fucking jobs and try and stop drugs from leaving their country and entering ours. From entering our country. The tariffs may drop, be suspended, disappear altogether. And in some cases, they'll stay. Trump is using the big stick to get other countries' attention, and he's using the carrot on this stick to lead them to the way he thinks. And it's working. It's a start. I would like to see income taxes eliminated, not just reduced, but eliminate the income tax and let the government live on tariffs and tariffs alone. And leave us now wait. Government can also tax corporations, because a corporation owes its existence to the state or the government. I exist by right. You exist by right. We were born on this earth free. God, us. Then the country is made, the government. The government makes corporations so they can tax them. You and I are above government. We shouldn't be taxed by it. That would be one hell of a system that I could participate in, because then I can choose this month to buy nothing or buy something. In corporations, you can pay taxes. You buy something from a corporation, you pay the tax. Now, if you want to talk about a way to create massive booms in mom and pop operations, guess what? Mom and pop are not corporations. They're sole proprietors. And if they don't have to pay taxes because they're not a corporation, then guess what? You and I would all love to buy from little mom and pop stores and businesses everywhere. And corporations could fuck off. See what I'm saying? It's a complicated world, folks. The solutions are not easy or simple. And it's going to take a long time to get it sorted out. Dr. 762 says, not worried at all about the price to fix our nation. Only concerned about the cost if we don't. And that, my good friend, folks, 762 millimeter. That's Dr. 308 there. That's what I'm concerned about. If we don't fix the problems, we die from the cancer. A little infection on your toe, which for me is a long ways away, can still come up my leg and kill me. Right? Cancer Starts as a few cells, tumors, and they spread and they kill. Gangrene. Name a disease that you would think could be solved easily and simply. Yeah, and they can. But if you don't do something about it, it will take over and kill. And look at the absolute fucking filth that we had. Fucking drag queens running around in the fucking White House with their symbol of sodomy, the rainbow flag and the trans flag, draped all over the White House, all over Washington, D.C., on every fucking government building, in every classroom that children attend. You want to talk about a filthy fucking disease. Now, I'll tell you, I know gay people. I couldn't give a fuck. I have gay people in my family. I couldn't give a fuck. They want to put it in my face. I'm going to give a fuck. They want to try sticking in the faces of children's. I don't care if they're related to me or friends of mine. They're going to fucking hear about it. That is a disease and it needs to be killed. Right? And that's what the good doctor just talked about. The problem we will pay if we don't fix it. We've been putting this problem off since before I was born. But specifically, it became a problem after 1971, when every government spent more than it took in, following the Keynesian economic model, which is, well, spend more money than you take in, and you'll create economic growth and prosperity. You can debt your way to infinity and beyond. The more I go in debt, and I'm ruined. Well, we finally got to ruination, folks. And right now, banks are in trouble. Corporations are in trouble. The monetary system's in trouble. The dollar's in trouble. But the stock market's at all-time highs. Why is that? We're in the everything bubble. I sure hope that you guys are in, if you're invested with a 401k or some form of retirement vehicle, that you're invested in something that the world needs and uses and isn't fresh air, commodities, not in fresh air. In my, let's just say the family office that I run, small family office compared to the Rockefellers, but it's my family office nonetheless. I will tell you, and in all, what do you call this? Whatever it's called, man, it's the, what is it when you have to admit that you're involved in something? Disclosing it. I'm invested. What is that called?
You mean like full disclosure?
Full disclosure. Full disclosure. Yeah, full disclosure. I like gold and silver. My family business is gold and silver. That's what I tell my family to do. Invest in gold and silver. And they seem to listen. Anyways, that's full disclosure. Man, I'm there we go. But I don't own a gold and silver business. I say use SD Bullion or Miles Franklin because, well, I like them. Anyways, folks, it is the end of the show. It is not the end of SHTF. Uman says, saw some clowns on X are trying to resurrect the QAnon. They said Pam Bondi's approval of 52 to 46 is 5 plus 2 plus 4 plus 6 equals 17, and 17 is Q. There's your proof. I guess Q controls the Democrat votes to make sure we get number 17. By the way, there's this thing called Blue Anon. Instead of Q Anon, Blue Anon is Q for Democrats. Blue Anon is telling Democrats, oh, don't worry about this. Obama has got this. The Clintons are in control of the whole thing. Don't you worry. Blue Anon. Good. Let him have it. That's probably Elon Musk's game he plays when he sleeps at night. In any event, folks, don't buy any of the horse shit. Blue Anon, QAnon, or not. You are your own bank. You're your own food service. You're your own power company. You are your own self-defense. Because if shit hits the fan, and God help us if it does, and you end up with some kind of Mad Max scenario potential, your world shrinks from the whole planet down to a 10-mile radius around your house. Those are the people in your world that are going to make your life hell. So have food, water, shelter, clothing, medicine, and a means of self-defense with your plan. And chance favors the prepared mind. Semper Fi to all you Americans and free-loving people around the world, and Godspeed.